that.
Okay,
We'll do that.
it is 6:31. Let's open the October 24th meeting of the Rutland Planning Board. First agenda item is our minutes from October 10th.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as. I didn't have anything.
I didn't have anything.
You didn't want to rewrite it or anything?
No. That's a good one. Second. Good one.
Yeah.
You gotta jump on the streetlight thing too. That's not good. No,
I have a correction.
oh, where's that?
On the backside, second page, third bullet down,
Spelling error.
it says a moten. To sign.
Oh, motion, okay.
A what?
A moten, not a motion.
Ooh, you got good eyes.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Motrin, I could've got that one.
So,
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
you wanna change your motion to,
With correction. Second.
is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next agenda item, a pleasurable one. Introduction of our new full-time planner, John Charbonneau, that's how you pronounce it.
Perfect, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know, if you wanna say something first, or just let's go around and introduce ourselves.
Yeah, well, just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in the northern Rhode Island area, Woonsocket, North Smithfield. I was raised close to here. Got my undergraduate degree at Clark in Worcester, and my graduate degree at East Tennessee State. And I've spent my entire 24 or so year career in Massachusetts as a land use, economic development, and transportation planner. So most recently, I was in the town of Milford, and prior to that, I was in towns such as Stoughton and Wrentham. So I've worked for large towns, I've worked for small towns, and one of the reasons I'm here is because this is the size of town and the type of town that I really enjoy working for. I feel like it allows me to really have a closer connection with the residents and the board, as opposed to working in a larger town where there's more separation. There's a little bit of a disconnect there. So that's why I'm here, and these are the types of towns where the planning is most needed, because these are the towns that are feeling like Rutland are feeling the pressure of growth in recent years. So that's why I'm here.
Growth of laws, regs.
State mandates, and
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more challenging for towns such as Rutland to regulate its own land use. Every year, it seems like the state has a different mandate. You have
Very
to do this.
scary.
You have to do that.
in the adjective unfunded.
Yes. And oftentimes, in my opinion, not thought out completely. Where they wait until they get the backlash and they say, oh, well, maybe we should change this a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
The biggest problem is they identify a problem inside 495 and come up with a solution, then make everybody else comply with it.
yep, and, yep, exactly.
That's why we need to move some beavers to the Charles River.
That's why we need to move the capital, Boston,
Springfield,
out to Pittsfield,
Pittsfield's okay, Springfield I'm good with too.
further out. Get them out.
It's supposed to be Rutland at 11.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why, never mind, let's not go there. We got other things.
That'd have been interesting.
Anyway, so if we can go around the table and each member introduce yourself.
Tim Norwald, been on the board a decade or two. I think it's more like a decade and a half. Engineer by trade, electrical, worked for Eversource Gas. Previous to that, had a 30-year career with Riley Stoker, the boiler manufacturer, startup engineer. So a lot of field experience, construction, so that's my background. And I ask a lot of questions, I'm a pain in the butt, and I don't shut up, so that pretty much ties me out.
Keith Tuttle, work in town here. newest member of the planning board, just a couple months, and I think it's a really cool process how the town works and operates. And it's fun to be a part of it and work with everybody on the team.
Yeah, we met.
Yep.
And he passed the,
Can you make a cow?
or ride a horse. and
No,
he's-
I've never milked a cow.
But he has ridden a horse, so
Yes.
that's okay in my book.
We're in the same category.
There you go.
And well, we've also met, and I don't know, the only thing I'm gonna say is, I'm a retired school teacher, and I've been on the planning board forever.
Pretty close.
I don't-
Longer than I.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think I'm running closer to 30 years, something like that.
I think it's 32, 31, 31, I think.
31 years,
You.
yeah. So, and I'm also a member of the ad hoc bylaw committee, the earthworks board, solar committee, even though it's not doing anything. And what
Should.
else? And what else? I guess that's it, that's enough.
Master, plan when it was, I think it's,
I was the chairman of the master plan steering
Yep.
committee.
Wow.
But that is now dissolved, so
Excellent.
that's it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, okay, onward then.
The fifth member, but hopefully
Yes.
Norm has filled you in.
Yes.
Thank you.
oh, I guess we'll get to that, right?
No, as long as he knows what the situation is, that's all I care.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we have a couple of ANRs, 376 Main Street.
He joined today. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to come on behalf of the applicant. What Richard had previously reviewed this one and indicated that everything looked good, so Julian took that as okay that he wasn't able to come tonight.
Okay. Okay, which one is this?
That's the Maple
That's this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Main Street.
Norm,
Yep.
didn't we used to ask him, did they change lines in here or something? And aren't they supposed to put a dotted line or something like that?
I was struggling with this, trying to figure out what
Yeah,
was changed and what, because I see this easement, and I was gonna wait till we got to the board and ask, so is that triangle just by itself, that easement, or is that, I can't figure out what that easement serves.
Yeah, 'cause it's in
This
the
guy right
middle of
here,
your yard.
it says it's an easement, but to what? It has no, is an easement from, and it says the person's name, but none of them are on there as owners anymore, so that's my struggle.
And you're right, because in ANRs that I've reviewed in the past, they usually do differentiate a dash line for lines that are no longer, that are gonna be changed, and solid lines for what they're to become, or the new lines.
They're not obligated, they should. One reason is if you do a dash line, then when the parcel gets recorded, it creates one parcel
yeah,
and you only get one tax bill. If you create a solid line, it should be creating two different parcels, two different tax bills.
yeah.
So
Which
I
could be a
guess-
higher tax bill because it's two combined.
So I'll ask the question, this was one piece of property, it's dividing into the little one, or the big one and the little one, is that a correct statement?
That's my
I
understanding,
don't
yeah.
think so.
It's my understanding that they're selling it to
I
the other
believe,
party.
yes, this parcel is being transferred to the people who own this parcel that goes up to the back, so it's gonna become in essence a flag-shaped lot.
Okay. And then, I guess I'm curious of that easement, what its purpose does that serve?
Good question.
Cause doesn't cause this is gonna get recorded into a deed, I presume.
I would assume they will.
And without that name on here being, Francis and Sandra, I'll just say C.
Archie.
And neither three of these having,
Let me take a look at the paper copy, it's been a while since I looked at it. Can borrow one of these copies.
It doesn't really say in any of these documents.
yeah,
right?
that was,
But it
the only thing I could gather when I read through this, and it was based upon this deed, is that lower piece of, that big piece of property
Yeah.
was owned by
Someone else. in
by the easement's parents, and it must have been passed on to them in some type of will. And then there's this quick deed that looks like it changes it over to the new people.
Yeah.
But I can't, I'm struggling why you would have an easement for a piece of property that nobody else is deeded to. So, the only thing, if this said, this people's name down here is an easement, I'd be okay with it, no issue, but I'm struggling with that.
I guess the reason I didn't think much about that is because there's an existing easement, they're not creating a new easement.
Right.
So that doesn't,
Just as
so A&R doesn't change that.
right, it's existing.
It's an existing easement.
But wouldn't she have to call that out in this quick claim?
They should, but I don't see they have to.
Okay.
They should.
The other thing that I don't understand, I guess particularly, is the purpose of this. Because
There's no frontage for that.
there's not enough frontage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't list
Not
the
even for
remaining
estate
front.
lot.
Yeah, cause this is only half acre and this property up here is what, it doesn't show.
They don't list the frontage of that narrow property.
Yeah.
And they don't list what the new lot size is going to be.
It's definitely less than 50 feet.
Yeah, cause if this is
So it
200, I was doing my math too, and
couldn't even be an estate
But
lot.
the A&R,
It's, I
My
believe
perspective-
that's the one that Julian had set up and it turned and picked up the frontage also over on Sharnak Hill.
that's not gonna happen anymore.
I know it's not happening anymore, but it happened. It was
Oh.
a frontage.
but this A&R doesn't change that frontage issue.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
All it does is add a half acre to the total
So,
property.
yeah.
So it doesn't change the frontage issue, so from my perspective, still appropriate for endorsement, because it doesn't alter the frontage at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it, I'm just curious as to,
It's a strange A&R, there's no doubt,
yeah.
but
The only
Yes,
reason I'm bringing this up is because I have a similar situation in a professional situation right now in Northborough with easements and right-of-ways. And I don't want this to be a problem for a title company down the road when somebody would say this gentleman goes to sell it and they go back, pull the A&R and go, yep, you added a half, 1 or 0.5 acres, but that easement doesn't match up with the easement of the quitclaim deed, so it's done. Come back to the planning board, why didn't you catch that? So that's the only reason.
the easement's not part of purview of
Okay.
A&R endorsement.
I'm good with that. I just was looking for a cover for us.
If
Make
it
sure.
said new easement, I'd question it, but it says existing easement.
Okay, I'm good.
It's
I
like
wanted to
stone-
ask the question, because when I was
It's
reading
like,
one.
if it said stone wall existing there, stone wall existing there, it's just an existing fact.
Original owner was David Donaldson and he passed and his wife had it for quite some time.
Yeah, I
That
found.
was way back.
The easement is a town easement?
No.
Or that's
It
a-
doesn't give any details on
Doesn't
it.
tell you,
Yeah,
that's
a-
Keith where I was struggling. I didn't know what it was for, because it's not a utility easement. It's not an access easement, so it's an easement, so I don't care. Somebody paid to have it and put it into a.
If it was
deed.
my guess, somebody probably has a garden or something on the other
Yeah.
property, and they grant easement instead of giving them the property.
Or they're growing something there, we don't wanna know about it.
Or they had, or somebody's,
Those sisters.
somebody had a shed. I've had a situation on there where somebody had a shed, they put in the wrong piece of property. And instead of making them move it,
Just grant them an easement, pay for it, yeah.
they bought an easement from the adjoining neighbor, solved the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling right now with wanting to do a easement on a right of way. How the heck do you do that?
If I may?
Yes.
I just looked it up in the GIS maps. According to the GIS map, this whole section is an easement. Everything from this line up. And because that's solid, that's the new creation.
Right.
So he's separating out the entire easement property as a separate parcel that is,
It's gonna be added to the
And this will be the
adjoining
only easement then, that little triangle? Where they've got the,
well, that's just I don't remember which one of these two lines is the easement line.
cause it looks like this is gonna be the new property line for this front
Yeah,
section.
it is.
This is gonna be the back one, and then there's a little triangle easement
Right.
that's left out of this one, so.
property. Just know one thing, when you look at assessor's maps, even the GIS online.
Oh, yeah.
They're not for conveyance purposes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm fine, I just wanted to ask questions, cause it didn't make a lot of sense to me when I was looking this thing over.
He's curious, but
Cause when I was.
Thanks, Peter.
okay.
There it is. There's Sander Kirchie that I found when I was looking at the quitclaim.
Yeah.
That's the only way I associated, because it wasn't Francis, it was just Sandra. So I'm guessing she sold it to her daughter, and so, again, I don't wanna, good enough, okay.
To endorse. I made a motion to endorse.
Do I have a second? Second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Oh, I got one, I brought one of these too.
To save mine.
So how many does the board usually sign of the ANRs?
Just the Mylar.
Just the Mylar?
Okay.
The Mylar, and usually just the paper copy and stamp it
This is our kind of normal mode distribution. Information. Hold these in a very special way.
You were expert, you taught how to fold those, I can tell.
This is thanks to Mr. Butruba, I think. For the show. And what we would normally then do is take our handy dandy stamp anywhere, and basically is have them sign, they return a stamp copy from the
Before we hand them the Mylar, so,
Excellent.
got it. So, does this, to me, go back to the clerk for him to pick up?
Yeah,
No, we can fold it, right?
Yeah, okay.
I can contact
Yeah.
And then he'll just sign it when he comes.
And they don't keep them smearing, they'll smear.
Okay, thank you.
Sometimes they take 30 minutes drive, sometimes they take all night.
So, these.
So we don't need these then, correct? We don't need the extra copies?
I may have given
Do
them.
more, make a sheet him.
And next,
Is this Emerald Road?
this is southerly side of Emerald Road.
you. Jim Harity is here on behalf of this application.
Okay, so,
Come on up.
anybody want a full-size copy?
I don't even have a copy here, so.
Dick, that's what I handed you.
Yeah, this is
No,
a
I
little.
gave it to him.
Oh, here.
There was
It's
one
in the
for
file.
everybody.
Take that one. I can read this one. I've read that, it's got
This one's pretty clear.
its acreage and frontage and everything else is out of our jurisdiction,
Yep,
so
I just find it very interesting
I don't.
where it's located.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm staying out of this one, cause
Yeah.
I wanna play nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been told I need to play nice better.
Oh,
Hey, nice is overrated.
Yeah, trust me, I know that from
You're the new owner?
30+ years.
Yep.
so, I don't know, any comments from,
This A&R is just for these three, correct?
For,
Does it include this?
includes that,
That's
They're
what,
selling it off to the.
this
the
narrow
piece.
sliver of
Yeah.
piece
yeah.
is being sold to Deb Carlson.
Oh, so these three are being AR'd, and this is a parcel that's being
Transferred.
transferred, okay.
There are four being A&R'd, but
Yeah,
one's for transfer, one's for
Yep.
the other three, four.
So only 3 lots
these
being created.
basically are parcels, these are actually
And the
lots.
check number, and how much was it made for?
Okay.
I received it, but I don't remember off the top of my head, Jim. What was it for? I don't remember. The check that you gave me. I can't remember the amount.
450.
50
Yeah.
is what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
And I have the check number, I just don't have it in my head,
Okay.
Dick.
Gotta do my math.
What?
I need 200 here.
Well, they'll say total frontage 200.
Yeah, I still gotta do my math.
Okay.
You know, I counted the one in the middle and it's got like 0.1 or 0.2 on the cement post, it calls it, and then there's like a foot. Is that just an angle? Did you do any of it, or is it the guys?
No, the engineers,
Yeah.
I mean, it added to 200 in the middle lot, it's just, I don't know why it's not a.
0.02.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that came out in a GPS, but that's okay.
Yeah,
This one's good, that one's good. Let me do my quick math, that's 5, 3, 8, yep, okay, exactly 200,
Not only that, exactly 1.5 acres.
yeah.
I would say that if a surveyor is going to stamp something that says 200.02, more power to them. The error potential is so great that if I was a surveyor, I wouldn't put .02.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
I would have put 63.1. But that's okay,
You could
Plus,
change-
minus, and
You
yeah.
could change that much on a cloudy day.
Yep. And Moran's a good land surveyor, so I'm, I don't have any,
I don't see anything, pretty straightforward to me.
yeah.
Woman Hill.
Since this, let me see, parcel A is not, nope, there's the note I was looking for. Man, that's perfect.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Land
It's from
planning,
Land Planning Inc.
yeah. He's been around.
Long time. He's the one that used to cover,
He did a lot of Lenny's work, if I remember
He's in
right.
Grafton.
yes, he did, yes.
Yeah.
Julian, he worked for Julian. Julian worked for him.
Okay,
And so did Stephanie Bacon King
okay.
worked for him. That's right. That's where the name came from.
I'm okay. I don't have any,
I have a motion.
I'm emotional about it
yeah,
because the town didn't
Yeah, I know.
take it
I know.
and do it what we wanted.
playing nice. There, no. I just wanna see what this access statement thing, I've never seen that before in a drawing. There were no restrictive features found along the frontage. And the land remaining lot that would. No. Dude, have we ever, I mean, is that part of our bylaw for A&R? Cause statements like that, I'm not willing to sign.
statement doesn't say. Let's see that.
It
Give me a
says,
hard copy.
no restricted features found along the frontage of lot 1, 2, 3, and the remaining land lot that would potentially prevent safe and adequate access to said lots from Emerald Road.
I mean, I wouldn't see that on an A&R, that's for a building inspector's.
And you're not making that, you're not verifying that, are you
We're not?
verifying?
No.
That's all I want to make sure of.
Yeah.
From
You're
both,
not-
as long as,
All you're
this signature is
All you're
just,
verifying is that these are lots.
Right, are you verifying is the
Need
frontage?
frontage, need area.
okay.
You're not verifying their buildability,
The only reason I say that is if a building inspector takes this A&R and says, the planning board said,
Because you don't know where the houses are being located.
correct, yeah, or the access for the driveway or anything.
Correct.
But
Okay.
this is the
I wanted
surveyor.
you guys to answer that, cause I've never seen that before in any of our A&Rs.
This is survey, if I was surveyor, I wouldn't put on there because it's their stamp.
This stamp just went on there to say
Their
that's
stamp
okay.
is saying, oh, this, as no access barriers.
Ridiculous.
If
You ever
they end
seen
up
that
having
before?
one, the
Okay.
owner then has issue with
I
it.
just wanted to make sure, cause I don't think, but I'm okay with it, we're just signing lot and frontage.
Yep, that's it.
And I'm.
In fact, A&R endorsement, makes no assertion about zoning.
Right. As a matter of fact,
That's it, that is here.
Who knows?
Even doesn't say it on there, you're still making no assertion.
It doesn't guarantee these are gonna perk.
Right.
It doesn't guarantee any of that.
Oh, wait a minute, you haven't been in Rutland lately. Don't forget that we have a certain gentleman here that does perks and said that he can perk a swamp.
Yes.
But ANRs don't verify any of that.
Yeah, that's,
You're not
okay.
certifying
I
any of
guess
that.
I'll make, did we already make the motion to endorse, or do you want me to make it?
No,
Nobody's made a
I'm
motion.
waiting for you to do it so I
I'll
can.
make a motion to endorse A&R plan located on Emerald Road, Rutland, Mass. For lots 1, 2, and 3 and parcel A, and parcel A.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Is Emerald Road a scenic road? I forget if that
No.
would be.
No,
It's a horrendous road, it's falling
I
apart.
don't remember it being on the list.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
I
curious.
remember, if you remember a couple years ago,
They
the
tried.
historical
Historic
commission
tried to,
And the
yeah.
residents said that they did not want that because of the increased traffic
Yeah.
and the condition of the road, so it didn't go anywhere.
yeah, there was like 3 or 4 of them they wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
and they all got shot down.
It was for even paving it too, as, or,
No, this road is on the list that,
Historic.
Joe had, for
Oh, yeah,
repairs.
repairs.
Oh,
He got
yeah.
it from Stantec. Stantec identified all the roads in Rutland and gave them a cost and a ranking of how they should be, when, what's the word I'm looking for, of need for repair.
yeah, yeah.
This was one of them.
Yep.
It was on the higher side of the list.
I
Of
think
needing
mine
it.
is higher though than this.
Yeah, but we did the white out, number 48. Kidding. Honest.
Okay, any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign, seal, and.
I think you need to do it.
John, do you know, David George by any chance? Okay.
Maybe we can cross paths with them.
All right. Well, I don't wanna speak for him, but I'm sure if you had any questions or anything, he's in Holden, which is
Yeah,
right away.
right.
He's our director up there. I'm sure he'd be more than willing to talk with you or answer any questions.
Yeah, I
He's
was
a
thinking
good,
about giving
he's a
him
good dude. Like,
I just have a question, is, do you know if all the signators are up to date at the registry?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, we did
recently
that.
did that, Jim.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Just don't put any red lines or anything on that, thing,
Do that.
or they'll find the littlest thing to cause your life miserable.
Get it recorded before they change the rules.
Sorry?
Get it recorded before they change the rules.
Yeah, I'll be down there tomorrow. There's no waiting period.
No.
No.
Especially when you sign this. That eliminates any waiting period of coming to get it. Oh. Yep, you could sign, seal. All that is indicating that you will bring us back a copy with the appropriate signatures on it.
No, sign where the stamp is.
Oh, the stamp.
Yeah,
Oh,
right on there.
Okay.
thank you. You got an extra rubber band.
It's okay.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
And this is for you
Can you
guys?
grab that?
Yep. This goes to the young lad here. It's in charge.
That's together with,
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Easy
All right.
peasy.
all of that stuff. And I don't really feel like folding all of these right now.
What we need to do is get John if I was still at Riley, I would borrow without the intent to not return the hangers with the clips on them, so
Yeah.
you could hang drawings.
Oh, yeah.
Because at one time, we had a pull-out.
We have one in storage upstairs.
I was
Get
just gonna say, I'm pretty sure we have one
Go
on the
grab
third
it.
floor.
Yeah, go
Bring it
grab
down
You
and
just
take it
gotta
as,
find a place to put it.
Yeah, we'll find a place.
I've got 16-pound sludge, and usually that takes care of any
Grab that
type of.
tomorrow, because. Well, because Austin told me that they have chairs up there, but I found them that was comfortable, but it's like all ripped and everything.
Yeah.
There's also stuff, if I'm not mistaken, in the, what do you call it, storage facilities?
So we have storage trailers that we got during COVID, and I know some office equipment has gotten in there, so we can check with Chris and see if there's any office chairs in
Yeah,
there.
that'd be great.
I also have brought up, you go out here into the large Blair room. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see a door and it goes into the storage area. And I've already said to Austin, planning board could make a nice office.
You mentioned this when you came
complex.
to see me
That's
yesterday.
right.
Yeah.
So just take a look at it.
Alone.
Pardon?
He'd be all alone over here.
That could actually work
Jealous, and
out.
so help me, it won't take about a
No,
week before
actually-
somebody else will move in.
Actually, I love my location. It's nice and quiet. We don't get a lot of foot traffic. It's
Yet.
great, being separate
Yet.
from town hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. You got an HR person sitting next to you. Wait till that kicks up.
All right.
Okay, release of covenant of tri-party, I'm assuming, since I don't see anything, we have not.
No, I said Richard's suggestions.
He came by this afternoon
Oh, okay.
and his attorney had revised the tri-party agreement to address the questions I had raised. And looking through, we said one minor issue. His attorney left blank a book and page number. We called the attorney and got that, and I wrote those in here. So from my perspective, the tri-party agreement is fine, is ready for approval and signature. And then once that's done, then we dropped off the release of covenant, partial release of covenant. I had some minor issues. The initial draft, for instance, had the grantor of it was C.B.
That's
Blair
copies. Yeah.
instead of Blair, instead of Brice Incorporated. So little things like that. One sentence was duplicated.
Is there one?
That's all I have.
So we got 3 copies.
Gives 3 copies. I'm not sure how many you require, but so all 5 to sign.
I am not gonna read this over.
Did you send out the initial draft to the board?
I did, yeah,
You
of
did?
the tri-party you mean?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it's
It's also in your packet.
there's very little different from, the only thing different is they made the corrections I asked about.
Okay. Yeah, nothing major.
No.
Just,
Okay. So.
That's one thing John and I talked about. John and I had the same philosophy that people will need to get stuff to the planner a week before the meeting.
That's why I'm struggling with signing this right now.
Yeah, and Tamika and I had talked about that today. We talked about some things that
Yeah.
should be put into practice to make life easier for you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys all have full-time jobs, you guys are busy, and it's not reasonable to drop something on you at the last minute and expect you to be able to consider it appropriately.
fully, yeah, right.
You're gonna be in the same boat Dave was. He tried implementing that, and then it was the rush into my office. I need to get this done now. So you're gonna have to be as tough as him.
I've learned to be very firm with that because Yeah, I've seen the downfall of that. I told
A missed
Tamika.
mistake can be ugly in court real quick.
And ultimately, it's gonna be up to the board to back John up on that.
I won't have any issue for me,
That's the
'cause
key.
I think these ANRs should be in weeks in advance, not dropped off the Monday and then for the next week's meeting.
I've seen, I worked with the planning board that will allow people to walk in on the spot and hand them ANRs at a meeting without being
That
on the
used
agenda.
to happen to us.
But
That's
the
ridiculous.
challenge with A&R is you have to act on it within 20 days of submittal. So you don't want to submit it too far in advance.
No,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that, but showing up, we got a meeting on Tuesday and they show up the Thursday before when there's nobody in the office on Friday.
I think a reasonable,
Yeah.
a reasonable timeframe is, hey,
Yeah.
board meets second and fourth Tuesday of the month.
Yep.
Then the Tuesday before the meeting, A&R needs to be submitted. It still gives sufficient time to have act on it.
I just say everything, and you know, with the exception of things that obviously have to go to a public hearing, which need to be submitted even further. But anything for consideration at meeting has to be a week, at least a week before.
Yeah, John, I agree.
That could be a policy.
So do you wanna sign this, or you wanna hang on to it for another week, another
So,
meeting?
yeah,
Yeah, that would be
the
our
list in
business
my
meeting, right,
mind
Dick?
keeps increasing of things that need to be.
Because I am
tightened
about
up.
ready to disappear for a while.
Not ready to just.
Yeah, cause the other thing that, John, we talked about is like, we tried to implement a couple years ago, we need, 2 to 3 months if you're going to, I think we actually used weeks, if you're gonna get a road accepted, to make sure we have our, the ability for our, engineer.
Right.
And DPW chief and yourself to be able
That's
to walk
not
it down.
unreasonable.
And then if there's any,
Stuff
punch
that has to
list,
be- yeah, it has to be
addendums, those
taken
can be
care of.
fixed. Cause what in the past was, and I think everybody except Keith who wasn't on the board here, come in a couple weeks before,
Right.
wanna get it approved, wanna get a hearing done, and
No.
then get it on the, approved by the, and there's sometimes the selectmen were just putting a placement on the warrant and it wasn't even done.
I always, whenever I would have pre-application meetings with applicants for special permits, subdivisions, whatever that required a public hearing and a butter notification, I always try and lay it out for applicants, a general minimum timeline. I'll tell them, you submit me an application, I need a little bit of time to review to make sure it's complete before I'm ready to send a legal ad to the paper. Then then it needs to appear in the paper, and that's part of state law. Then at the end, you have a 20-day appeal period that is state law that the board can do nothing about. So I always tell people, if you're gonna go for a public hearing for anything before the planning board, you're talking a minimum of 3 months. And that doesn't include how long the public hearing may go on. So that I can't predict, but I tell them at least be ready to do at least 3 months at a minimum, even if
And they,
everything
and
goes
they should
smoothly.
have it's the word I'm looking for, a pre-meeting with you before it even
Yes.
gets before the board, so you can have a chance to look it over and
Yes.
advise them on what maybe stuff
Exactly.
they're missing.
And that allows them to make their application more complete, so it makes your job easier when they come before you.
Looking at this, your next meeting is in 3 weeks. You can act on it tonight. You can't do anything with it at the present time because you don't have the revised plan, HOA documents, easements, all that before you to approve and endorse.
Yeah.
What you could do is you could say
That,
you're waiting, you're gonna put on the November 14th agenda and you'll consider the endorsing the plan when you have all the other documents and approve this at the same time.
Yeah, then the only thing they'll have
This
to
is,
change.
this
Oh,
is,
are
this
you
is
talking
different.
about Hilltop? Because Clete asked me about that
Yeah.
today. This one's for
this
Lindsay
is-
This is
Lane.
Brice Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
This is Brice Lamb.
Price line.
That one doesn't have.
So this is just one phase of Brice Lemon.
Yeah,
This, no.
and I,
But if you
Lindsay Lane.
don't feel comfortable endorsing this
Yeah.
tonight, we can
Oh, that's right, yeah.
table
that-
it.
okay.
I would
Do you know what I
rather,
mean?
I'm
even
getting
though it's
confused.
handwritten,
Yeah, okay.
I'd like
yeah.
it to,
That's
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, so, scratch what I said, this doesn't fit that. This Lindsay Lane, so yeah. If you wait 3 weeks, it does hold up his beginning work.
Yeah. So, I don't have a problem with it because it's just another part of of Brice Lemon, this is, you know,
I keep getting that, he shouldn't do so many developments.
Oh,
Yeah, so hold on, I'll talk to
Yeah.
the.
so we have phase one,
Yeah.
phase two, phase three, this is, I think, phase 1A.
He has lots of bees too, bee projects that start with B, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
Yes,
Yeah.
Brice.
Yeah, he has something about bees.
Brintnal.
You gotta spread it around the alphabet a little bit.
well, let's see, first name, first letter of last name, got it.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I'm okay, I hate written in documents, it's just, cause we sign this, we're signing a written document, not a complete document. You get, I mean, I'm fine with it,
He
I
initialed
mean,
that change, correct?
But he didn't initial, but it's in there, and I think it's fine.
Because they'll record that.
It's an agreement between the bank and him, right?
Yeah.
And we're just signing off
It's,
as the
it's a
bank.
agreement between all three.
Yeah, okay.
And the bank is agreeing to hold this amount of money in retainage,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
subject to the board's.
We're talking about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 parcels.
Boy, just think that, I was down there and
It's almost done, isn't it?
guess they can get that. It's a short cul-de-sac.
I know.
It is short.
I was doing the math and I was looking at what was done on, what's the one off of Brintnal where, you know, he went around Arrowhead and how they were,
yeah.
and I was doing 1, 2, and I got to 10, I'm like, how the hell are you getting 10 of these on that little cul-de-sac?
Yeah.
And I guess they'll just be wedged in.
I'm just wondering if there, I don't think there are any actual flag lots, but I don't know that.
I can't remember.
But there might very well be. Because that thing goes back into a hillside.
Yes.
So it could be that there are gonna be some houses way back and then some houses right up close to the road.
And if they're the hillside, this is the one thing that I guess, and this isn't our responsibility, it'll be Dave's. But if they dig into that hillside and it's greater than 8 feet, don't they have to put in a engineered wall
Yes.
by Mass State Building
We'll get a chance
Code?
to see Thursday some of the.
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah,
things that he's done.
you know, the same thing over off 68 where there's a house that went in and the house is at the top and the driveway goes
yes.
up and there's a 20-foot hill right next to the driveway.
Yes.
My expectation would have been somebody would have had to do an engineered wall next to that driveway so the hill doesn't come down and into 68.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a,
Well, let's just say some of it
I'm not a
did
civil
wash down
engineer,
to
yeah.
68.
Yeah.
This
So
year.
are you all comfortable with endorsing this?
I am.
I guess I can, yeah.
I'd suggest there needs to be a motion second
Yeah.
to sign the tri-party agreement.
So moved.
So moved. We get a lot of those.
Yeah.
So,
Why not?
do I have a second?
Real quick, I guess, you know, paragraph 1, 2, 3, you know, it talks about a couple $1 million, but that's for the whole project, right? I mean, the other
Right.
week we
Correct.
did
Yeah.
100,000 for the.
It spells out the
for-
retainage in there.
Right.
So it's all encompassing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, the bank has loaned him money for the entire development, and the bank is going to retain a portion of it to cover the infrastructure.
Okay.
Now, I'll wait till the second comes in discussion before I ask any more.
Sorry. Second, I guess.
Discussion.
All right, page 2. First full paragraph after G. It's basically saying the developer has to complete the work on or before October.
Blank.
Do we blank? What do we put in there? We put a date?
Yes.
I like 31st. But, and then if they don't, I can't remember anybody coming back to us to have a tri-party agreement extended, so what do we do about some of these subdivisions that have tri-party that have exceeded the 3 years?
That's another topic for
Oh, I don't even wanna get into
another
that?
day. No,
Okay.
that's not this project.
Typically, they don't. You can then call the bank.
Okay, I don't wanna know then.
No.
I see dates like that and I'm like, ugh, I'm having a special permit flashback.
So do we have one of those in the filing cabinet now?
Do the 31st.
Yeah,
Why not?
all right, so I guess we'll have to write that in. Mine's not a signed copy, so I'm not gonna,
I don't know. I have a signed copy.
I've got some, I look like I've got some signed.
All 3 copies are signed by the bank.
But not by the board yet.
Not by you.
Okay.
So we have to sign all three.
That's right.
Oh, so we should put the 31st in all three of these.
Yes.
Yep.
In black. All right. That was the only question I had. I'm surprised the bank didn't catch that, because they're actually the ones on the hook for not having an open date.
Yeah.
All right. That's only concern I had.
It'd be interesting how they get this notarized.
Because there's no date up there, is there? And they're not seeing,
Never mind that,
Signatures
doesn't the person have to be present
for signatures, correct.
in order to have,
Whose signatures need to be notarized?
ours.
it looks that way.
I will notarize them because I'm
Oh.
witnessing you signing
Yeah,
it
she's
right
notary.
now.
Okay,
And I'm
okay,
not
okay,
in public,
yeah,
so I
Yeah,
think-
because usually George is here, and George does it for Clay Hill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Good.
So we should put the date up here, write this date in
Do you
as
guys
today.
have to vote first though?
You need to vote on the motion.
Oh,
We have a motion and a second, but no vote.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So now I can put the 24th in here.
You gotta put 24, I thought, don't you put all that on this page? We sign it, but you
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, if it's that.
let her do
sentence
all
that
the
says-
other.
You sign it and let Tamika fill all the numbers in.
Oh, crap, I already put the 24th.
Okay, that's fine. I started, so that's not a big deal.
Fine, just go and sign it.
So we just pass this around?
Be sure everybody signs in the same place on each one.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
so
signing
Just
top
sign and
line.
pass.
The
I'll
chair's
sign
number
second.
one.
You're gonna sign second,
Keith, third line.
third, fourth, mine, go ahead.
I'm gonna sign the fourth one like I do.
Right
with
here
Dick
on
all
the front
time.
page, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm passing this on. Second.
And the next item is a document that he really wants done tonight. Next item is more important than that to him.
What was that?
Partial lease of covenant.
Not gonna happen. No.
It's a standard partial lease of covenant, basically. You have the tripartite agreement now, and therefore you're partial leasing the covenant, so he can then proceed to build those houses.
Oh, no, I gotta leave.
Okay, do I have a motion to release the partial release of covenant?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One thing I suggest, John, that could expedite all this is in John's leisure time, he could develop a standard tri-party agreement, standard release of covenant, and that could be a standard form you simply give to them to fill out. That way your attorney's already reviewed it, you're already fine with it, and
Yeah.
that would make it quicker for everybody down the road.
I see that. I didn't see Hilltop on here, did I?
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay,
Can I disappear for a while?
Got public hearings, and that's the next up.
on the zoning amendments.
I have no,
I didn't have any
Those
comments.
should be quick, right?
yeah, it's,
It's more of a formality.
pardon?
The hearings are more of a formality at this point for the public, most of them.
But I will
Public
return
hearings
just
are
to,
never a formality, they're an important element of the public involvement process.
Wow.
But if
like
you
you
look up
memorized
there,
that.
no one came. No one.
Touche, fair point.
Sounds to me like you're trying to get it hired at some
let me put
place
my
like
boots on.
Lunenburg.
Okay, I'm opening a public hearing on the amendment to the Rutland zoning bylaw for the associate planning board member.
So you have a member of the public who wants to make a comment about
Oh,
You have the
please.
writer here, so you're waiting to see.
The primary author of it, sitting there. So, and we've looked at it before, we made a
Yep.
couple of little changes in it.
We tweaked it, and then we also tweaked it per the attorney's request, if I remember correct.
Most of which we ignored.
I mean, this is, I'll make a motion to, do we need to make it, send it to the select
Well,
board?
first-
To the-
Well, first is a public hearing.
Yes.
Oh.
You
So
need to
has-
vote to open the public hearing.
Yes, and open the public hearing, and then they ask for public comment.
Right, so, anyway, any further comment from the board first? Is there any comment from the public? Mr. Public?
A motion to close the hearing?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any
You have to.
discussion?
I could hold out, you know.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, you would vote to recommend favorable action at town meeting on the article.
A motion to, or do we do that at town meeting?
No,
You do that now.
We
You do that now, that you're recommending approval.
And then I prepare a written report reflecting the date of the vote that they can have.
That goes to the select board.
It
Yes,
goes on the warrant.
yes.
So for example, on Thursday night, the select board and the finance committee are meeting to make their recommendations
Right.
on the warrant article.
Because they'll ask for any board reports any committee or board reports when this comes up.
Technically, we would repeat that recommendation at town meeting. If the moderator remembers to ask us.
Can we change that at town meeting?
What?
Our recommendation? Because we've done that before.
There's, first of all, you can only change as a board if you're in a public meeting.
Right.
Well, we open our meetings before the town meeting.
Then you could, at town meeting, make a motion, second vote, change your
That's what, Richard,
recommendation.
that's what I was looking for, because we did that once before on another bylaw. We had changed our position and came up with an alternate position that we didn't know about until we talked to town council.
It's best to do it before town meeting instead of at town meeting, but yeah.
In that case, we didn't know until town council got there, but I'm good with that. I'll make a motion.
Technically, you're not required to make a written report at town meeting, you're not even required to make a recommendation. But if you make no motion, town meeting has to wait 65 days on submittal before they can take action. So it's best to make a report and be done with it.
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 16,
Favorable
favorable
Action.
action on Article number 16, Associate Planning Board Member bylaw.
I wouldn't reference the article number because they can always change.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The article regarding the associate planning board member.
Okay. I'll modify that to dump the article. Number. Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion?
I'm gonna be away on vacation the week of the town meeting. I don't know if that changes if any of that would be, if you guys do that public thing or any, vote in,
Probably, the only thing is,
just to make you aware of
there's a
it.
better chance then that we might not have a quorum if we decide to have a meeting. Which we will post a meeting for the
Yeah.
night of town meeting, we always do that. But
We'll be there, there'll be three there.
probably,
Yeah.
yeah, we probably
We're
will
just
have
gonna make you
three.
feel guilty about it, that's all.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. Last minute stuff, I
Come on.
gotta leave town.
We can always zoom in.
You're right, yeah.
That sounds shady. Last minute stuff, I have to leave town.
Yeah.
There is no
Wedding.
remote participation to town meeting.
There's no,
No, that's illegal.
that's illegal, oh, okay.
That's the only thing that's Zoomed that's illegal, correct? Because everything else is Zoom now, I understand,
Yeah.
for all meetings, or soon to be.
They're talking about it, they haven't
Yeah.
passed it.
Anyway,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, next, this is a public hearing on a proposed zoning bylaw amendment regarding the dog kennel bylaw. And for as much as there's a lot of language here,
Motion to open the public hearing?
thank you. We don't usually do
You
motions.
don't have to do a motion, you just open.
No, I just, as chairman, open the public hearing.
Okay.
Some communities do motions, some
They,
don't.
yeah, the ones I've worked
Yeah.
with, the motions.
Which is inconsistent because we have a motion to close it, but normally we don't have a motion to open it.
And I know some communities don't do a motion to close, they empower the chair to close and.
Oh, yeah.
Was it
So-
7:00 yet? Do we have to wait?
It's 7:20, yeah.
Just
Okay. Anyway, for all of the language in here, basically, all of this is kind of to bring it in line with the state statute regarding kennels and animal control, right?
Actually, if I may,
Yeah.
it is to bring zoning bylaw and the general bylaw.
I'm sorry, name and address, please,
Oh,
sir?
I'm sorry, Peter Crane, Nate's Way. The purpose is to bring, the
Sorry, you're
first
just cash.
first purpose is to bring the general bylaw called animal control and the zoning bylaw regarding kennels into alignment, where the general bylaw currently says that a ZBA hearing is not required for a personal kennel, but the zoning bylaw says that it is required. And the second purpose is to expand the zones in town in which kennels may be placed.
So. Anyway, is there any comment from the board? Any discussion?
Just cleaning up, but probably should have been cleaned up years ago.
Yes, probably, and, I know, it's just gonna be interesting to see what happens at town meeting with this one.
There'll be a lot of questions, I've got a feeling, from the six people that are there.
There might be and there shouldn't be,
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any comment from the public? Any questions? Nobody out there?
Guess I'll do a motion to close public hearing.
second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Motion, you're up. I need to do some seconds.
Okay.
This is what we call training.
Oh, well, what's next?
So motion to recommend favorable action
Oh, okay.
on the article, but not the number, just the title.
So, planning board recommends favorable action on the kennel bylaw to go to annual or fall town meeting,
Special time means.
special town meeting, fall special.
Second.
Once again, any discussion? I hear silence. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let me explain why I said drop out the article number. I had a town administrator, I don't care how many times I had the article number, right? She decided to change the article numbers at the last minute,
Yeah.
and so,
That'd be tough because I thought they were supposed to be finalized by a certain date and turned in.
They closed the warrant.
Yeah, when they closed the
When they
warrant.
close the warrant, but they can reorganize it.
They can, and in fact, no articles have been placed.
Well, they haven't been placed yet.
No, that's Thursday.
That's Thursday.
And
okay.
I've never seen that. I've never seen the article numbers change between then and
Yeah.
town meeting.
All right, well, I'm good.
In this town, they do.
So they've dropped out articles and moved things up.
Gotcha.
Usually, yeah, okay. Certificate of action.
Okay, certificate
It
of
should say
action.
certificate of no action, I
Right.
apologize.
Yes, take no action.
And
And
I read that when I was going through the packet.
these aren't, I'm not sure they are required by statute. It not says a thing about things a good idea. But basically I've tried to do is codify the procedural history of the
Yeah.
applications and detail why the board could take no action. So that way,
No, I don't.
when
this
the
is one thing I
applicant
haven't
seeks
seen.
constructive grant, there's a clear record of planning boards.
Is the applicant have to bring that to the town clerk to get it signed as part of the,
There's a whole process in statute
okay?
that the applicant has to follow, including notification of parties in interest,
Okay.
giving them time to respond, which this one benefits of this for the applicant is you've notified the parties in interest, they didn't attend the public hearing, But lo and behold, developer A sends out notice parties of interest that I'm seeking constructive grant because board's inaction. Abutter 1 says, I'm objecting to this.
Is that a letter to the clerk?
No. They just respond to the
Oh, okay.
applicant saying, I'm seeking constructive grant.
Okay.
The applicant then say, I have a detailed certificate of no action by the planning board, outlining procedural history where they sought to hold a hearing, they sought to hold a hearing, they sought to hold a hearing.
Yep.
No hearing was held, a hearing was held and then closed, and nobody was present. 9 days lapsed after that, nothing ever transpired. I think it seems, as a lot of credence, that he's got a constructive grant.
Okay. No, I read the layout. I liked it. It was very well put together.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's something to have in our files.
Yeah, it's a great fact because we've never had this happen before, as far as I can remember.
43 years
Wow.
of professional experience, I never had it happen.
Okay.
And
John's never had it happen on.
that's, so
special
between
permit.
us, that's almost 70 years, we've
Yeah.
never seen it happen.
Well, we've had constructive approval on subdivision,
Yes, but never on a special permit.
going way back.
I never had it on subdivision. It's just
This was back in the,
pre-planning days.
not only pre-planner, this was,
80s?
this is back when we were on the second floor of the town hall.
Oh, this is BT before
He has to
Tim.
endorse this.
And we had
Yeah,
ashtrays
okay. Yeah,
along
just
the
to,
whole table.
Oh, my.
Basically, you need a motion to approve the certificate of no action, authorize signatures to it. It's reaffirming your vote back in July of taking no action on it.
Which again, it's a good idea, it closes the loop on that, and that way, 10 years from now, if someone looks at that file, there's something clear saying that's what happened.
That's it.
So do we need a motion
Yes.
to
The
approve
certificates of no action.
certificate of no action?
Correct.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
I guess I'll add to that just 46 and 52 Ridge Road.
That's perfect.
Okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And let's
And this just
see.
takes a majority vote, correct, for this?
Yes. Let's see, we need to fill
I
in,
just wanted to make sure.
No, you need 5 out of 5. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, that's.
You need a unanimous 5 out of 5.
and I'm assuming Tamika, you can fill in the blanks on the motion by and seconded by.
Yes, yep, I'll take care of that for you.
So that's the other one, that's the,
3 copies or?
No, it should just be one copy for
Yeah,
each,
yeah.
lot, Keith, so
Oh,
one for
okay,
46
so I'm
and
holding,
one for
yeah.
52.
what one is, which one?
46 is what.
And which one do you have?
This is 52.
Okay, so you've
We
got a
just have to
different one.
circulate it.
Yep, so here, give me that one. and,
Yeah.
The word almost identical, just changed 46,
Oh, okay, yeah.
52, and lot 2 to lot 3. And
Those are major differences.
the biggest difference was you two.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Tim made the motion on one, and you seconded on that
oh,
one.
and then
the other
others
one,
did, yeah.
you made the motion, and Tim seconded.
This is a test for Tamika, to make sure she was paying attention. That's what I-
She will.
And so I had them all done and realized, oh no,
Backwards.
they didn't make, the same person didn't make the motion each time.
I don't wanna be a motion
Thank you.
hog, so I gotta let Keith do something.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and cut and paste and change those.
All right, another one done.
I'm glad it's got a find replace feature on there.
You consultants.
I read this one, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I would just say on this one, Norm, isn't there bigger fish to fry? But I get it, I do.
Okay, Board of Appeals, review of variance application, I guess.
When I read through this, I was getting a little worried, cause I have a breezeway attached to my garage. So, is that considered an auxiliary
Oh, boy.
building?
Guilty.
It's a big storage shed,
Yeah.
14 by 24.
Now, Richard, you said this is the first time that something like this has been on the agenda. I really was a little bit confused. I've never seen anything like
I've
this
never
on
seen
an
it.
agenda.
I've never seen the planning board asked to comment on a variance
This is
application.
actually
Oh, we do.
part of our zoning bylaw.
Yeah,
And the
really?
zoning bylaw requires that a variance application be reviewed and commented on by the planning board and the board of health.
How did
So
you
the
follow
only
the
thing
zoning
pla-
bylaw?
only comment the planning board can really make is
Right.
granting variances contrary to the zoning bylaw.
Correct. Yeah.
We've,
We normally basically just say we have no issue.
yeah, no issue, that's it. So, I mean, cause we've had people come in here and say, listen, we're trying to do this.
Right.
We're backed into a corner because our property, and we're like, well, all we can do is say no issue. You're gonna have to put your case before the ZBA.
Right.
Then I wouldn't say no issue, I'd say board has no
No
comment.
comment. Because saying no issue means that you
Basically,
subtly
you support
endorse
of
it. Yeah, you support it. So that's a good one. Say,
So I would say no comment,
That's-
the board has
Well,
no
I
comment.
have to, because the next thing I know, I'm gonna be in trouble with my breezeway in my garage, so. No,
so yes, no comment.
Kind of interesting because we don't have a plot plan showing.
there
where
was
actually-
in
There
the,
is, so there was
on the
a
packet.
lot of documents, and I included it in your electronic one. I didn't print every
Oh.
document for the packet
Oh,
tonight, though, because
okay.
it just felt kind of like a waste of paper for what it was, you know?
It's a little confusing on where it was going and what's doors facing.
it looks like it was going up, that was the trouble I was
What was
having,
the side of
because
that?
it was right up against the garage.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of room on front, for all
He's
of
got a
these.
big yard, yeah.
But the argument the ZBA has, and this is what I'm taking from this, is you can't put an accessory building next to an accessory building, and they were calling the garage that was attached to the house by a breezeway an accessory building. So it wasn't setbacks anywhere, cause all the setbacks were within,
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's not the case. So
That's
if
what it
you
says.
drive by this particular house, you'll see that the driveway, which is, of course, right at the garage, it like falls off. It's almost
Oh,
like
okay.
a cliff. It
Yeah,
falls
no.
off into the yard. So they're looking to put
This
this
is what
accessory
they're actually
garage
looking
like
for.
right at the top of the driveway. Because it falls off,
Oh,
because
or
of the
accessory
setback,
building.
they don't meet the 10-foot side setback requirement. So
It is
they're
a physical
seeking-
hardship.
So they're
They may
seeking
actually
a 7-foot
accept-
variance to put it 3 feet from the garage.
The challenge in Mass General Law,
Interesting.
you have to demonstrate that Massachusetts has the most stringent standard for variance in the country.
Yep.
You have to demonstrate that you have a unique hardship owing to soils, shape, topography of the property.
Or financial.
The
Does it say
challenge
financial?
is, it's a unique hardship not of your causing. And consequently, the question then gets raised, why do you need this garage? Building the garage is of your doing. Could you build a smaller garage?
Could you park outside?
There's
Interesting.
there's a number of different ways they get stressed.
This right there.
Because the wording of Mass General Law is so strict.
Yeah.
I don't get involved in ZBA discussions, I let them handle
I was
it.
gonna say.
I'm struggling, how is, if their property line is back here, all the way in the back, and it's 95 to the side, 32 to the front, how is that within 10 feet of the backyard? Of the back property line? This layout doesn't make a sense.
Well,
Hey, look at the building inspector's
this
denial,
is,
cause he
thing is, this is the
details it.
language from
The building inspector.
Yes.
from the zoning bylaw.
Yes.
This is the language straight from the zoning bylaw, okay, which it's either 10 feet.
That's the one I was talking about, or the principal.
Correct.
That's the one I was thinking
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the I get it that it drops off and they literally couldn't put it on the back of a hill.
Yeah.
But from a standpoint of property lines, they're not.
No, they're not.
That's why when I read this, I'm going like, cause this layout is basically my
There's
house.
there's this word you don't like, or.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or.
And,
Yeah.
and that, the unique hardship reason I would suggest The best approach to the planning board is just,
No
planning board has no comment.
Let the ZBA make a
The funny
determination.
thing is, if you look at the driveway, it actually covers the 14, so like it was planned for.
So,
Because one thing is if you said, we have no objection to this, every applicant for a variance is gonna say, the planning board doesn't have any objection.
so do they have to take an official vote of no comment?
In the
I think they do, yeah, okay.
Historically, yeah, the board has made a motion to make no comment, and then we draft a memo and I provide it to the ZBA.
I have looked at the zoning bylaws. Some bylaws would have a time limitation that if the board doesn't make comment, is deemed as have no objection. But it's best just to expedite it, say,
No comment.
no, we have no comment on this.
All right, I'll make a motion to send a letter to the ZBA indicating we have no comment on 82 Central Tree Road's application for variance.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, very good.
So that's an or in our bylaw, huh?
Yeah.
That needs,
What are these last three?
Last three are three big nothings.
Okay,
It's these outstanding projects, do they have anything come up that they need update on?
okay.
Like I say, Brice Lemon Estates, I took a drive through there, yes. Today.
Why are you looking at me?
I talked with you today.
I don't know what you did. No, you talked to me yesterday.
Okay, so it was yesterday.
Yes.
See? I'm showing my age. And, I guess the only thing I'd say of Brice Lemon, obviously, he's not starting phase 4. There's no work being done there.
so the connection isn't started yet.
He does have for sale signs up on this Lindsay Lane.
I was looking at that.
And obviously on Thursday, we'll take a ride out and check these out.
Perfect.
Brintnal Estates is still building like mad. It looks like they have, for the most part, finished abandoning that temporary egress. They've obviously put in the sewer and water pipe that's gonna,
And cap the end of it, yep.
Hilltop, they have loamed and seeded it. However, they have not rebuilt the stone wall.
It goes across the
They have
front.
3 huge concrete blocks across the things, which, at least as far as I'm concerned, are not particularly scenic.
No,
And I talked with Dave McCray yesterday, and he mentioned that Clea is starting to get antsy about occupancy permits, and I told him he still doesn't have the stone wall up there, and let him know, and Dave said, yep, he'll let him know. And he says he usually gets some pretty good cooperation that way,
okay.
so, anyway.
This was Hilltop?
No,
No, this is,
Brintnal Estates.
Okay, down.
Part of his requirement
lower
was,
part.
Yeah,
there's off of the bridge that goes across on Grizzly Drive,
The old exit.
there was that exit and it had to be closed off.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to force everybody to go out where you could actually see cars coming at you as opposed
Yeah.
to,
yeah. So,
Yeah, turn and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
also, now there is a fire hydrant right at the top end of that egress. And the thing is, Clea might give us a little static about doing the wall, because he might have to end up digging almost where that stone wall is gonna have to go
to put the wall in.
to put the rest of the water lines and the sewer lines in.
Oh.
I'm gonna say, hey, the heck with it. Put the stone wall there, if you have to move it temporarily to put in those,
It's come before the planning board, we can grant that.
and whatever. The other thing is, I got a call from, neighbor, Mr. Grohl, up at the top of the hill, and he says that at that top where they actually did some excavating, for all of this, and they've left kind of a pile of dirt with stumps and whatever that's not too
Of
good looking.
Hilltop where they did the.
No, at this egress,
Oh,
on the upper side of that egress. So,
come and get it.
like I say, I drove by, I did not really notice it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
I told Mr. Grohl that I would take a look.
Unless I'm taking the truck, I'm not going down Brintnal, so,
Brintnal, let me tell you, Brintnal is nice.
okay. This time of year, I stay away from it
Yeah.
because I remember,
Soggy.
yeah,
It's as nice as I think it has ever been.
okay.
And I was even noticing as I was driving out tonight.
You weren't getting the,
No, I mean, it was more like a paved road. So,
all right.
the only other thing is he's building like mad on Brintnal Estates. I don't know, is there 7, 8, 9 houses going right now?
The last I heard, people are actually bidding those houses up to get in them before winter. Like if there's, let's just throw a number, if there's 600,000, they'll say, I'll pay you 650 if you can get it done in 3 months.
Honestly, I personally would never buy a home in an incomplete subdivision. I've seen too many
Yeah.
disasters where they end up basically.
Water coming down?
Well, they're next to an easement where the contractor or the developer will pile dirt and it will stay that way for 2,
Oh, yeah.
3 years while they're finishing. So there's a lot of risk involved in buying a house in an active
The other
subdivision.
things, I would not pay a builder to hurry up
Yeah.
and get it done before winter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Again, this is all hearsay. Clea has not told me any of this, so I don't want to say Clea said this.
Let's
I've
have some
heard it.
quality control here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
my philosophy is I'd rather have it take longer
Correct.
and get it done correctly
That's
than
Or like I got lucky, mine was the second house built by the soon-to-be developer in town, so they were looking to do quality and get onto the market as
Yep.
opposed to, this is our 56th house and,
Right.
boom, we're into the, so no, can't complain. Plus I had who's the gentleman in Holden who builds houses?
Oh, Sundin?
Sundin, old man Sundin's carpenter was my grandfather-in-law, so he came in and did the inspection. He goes, buy it. Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, Bear Hill 2, there's another foundation has gone in up there. It looks to me like he's got about 2 lots left.
And that's it. I was always wondering about that front lot on Arrowhead that goes out on the other side of the curve.
Yeah.
Cause that just seems like a long, thin lot, and I don't know how you get a
I don't know.
house in there, but,
So,
all right.
I'm guessing that for spring anyway, Clea is gonna be coming in looking for acceptance on Bear Hill 2. It would only make sense. And probably for, phase 3 of Brice Lemon. That would be my guess.
Okay.
And, believe it or not, that's it.
Nice.
I just had a less than 48-hour question
Okay.
for my young lad. Did you have an admin that you're working with the town administrator to get hired?
We're discussing, where we sat down on my first day and we're gonna go over the best option to serve the town and the boards in terms of, there's different options as far as serving the boards. And we're gonna discuss the options. We haven't come to any conclusion
Okay.
yet.
I've got a Excel spreadsheet with a generic budget somewhat put together for us.
Okay.
Of course, I'll have to have you fill in salary, and I don't know what your agreement is with the town. Do you have a contract with the town, or are
No.
you just an employee?
I'm an employee at will.
Perfect, okay.
I actually
And-
have the offer letter, the acceptance offer letter at my office.
I'll let Austin fill in that section of whatever COLAs or whatever else he's agreed to. That's
Yeah, cause we need, Austin and I need to put our heads together as far as what's needed. What's the best option for, what's needed for planning board, Concom, and the office in general, and see, how we can get the best value for the money.
Yeah.
And something that's gonna be able to be picked up by the town once the contribution for the planning board is no longer there in 2 to 3 years.
No, how about next year? We'll tell Austin that when that's me speaking, I'm not
Yes.
speaking for the board. It's not 2 to 3 years.
It's 1 year.
As far as I'm concerned, I'll let Norm, you say what you want and
that's a
Keith,
topic
but,
for future discussion.
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yes.
definitely.
Okay.
Cause the
And
budget,
you don't know what money will come along.
Right.
From the town.
Yep.
And
So a discussion has to happen as far as, hours, salary, what's that gonna look like, and depending on which options, and, who may be added, who's, will there be an increase in hours, so don't know how that's gonna look right now.
That's with you and Austin.
Yeah.
So,
We just
I just
need-
was curious cause at one time when I spoke with him, there was a potential on the horizon close, so.
Okay.
That's the reason why I was
Yeah.
wondering if that was happening or not.
We just need to get our 25Ks worth.
Yeah, well, that's, to let the board know, that's the other thing. I think my talk is with Becky to get account numbers for the planning board, cause right now we only have a couple of account numbers. And because of that, we couldn't transfer anything, but yet I've seen on transfer requests to the FICOM or to the select board, I forget which, that salaries from the deputy chief and from a position in the police department, those salaries that aren't being used are being transferred to surplus or supplies, where we couldn't do that because we didn't have the account. So, but you're here, so that's good. But we had time where we had salary of the other planner that was basically not being used and was going back to the general fund, and I thought we should use it for other items on the planning board that we might need. So I want to go to either Becky or who and get numbers associated for line items, supplies, outstanding or outside vendor support.
Okay.
And then maybe I put $0 in the budget, but at least there's a number associated with it.
Yep.
That we could transfer if we had to. That's all I was gonna do, Norm, is make sure we've got the tools to be able to use.
No, it sounds like a good idea.
So that's it. So that's sort of an update for the board of,
Yeah, cool.
again, it's not an extensive Excel spreadsheet. It's like 6 different line items and that's it. We
Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, no. I actually, if Peter's listening, I stole the idea because I sat in on one of their cable commission budget meetings and I'm like, I like that idea. I'm gonna borrow that without the intent to return. So, but I'll get that to you as soon as I get it, then you and John can talk about it
You
from
can
there.
make a really fancy spreadsheet by having one table of supplies, one of personnel, and then you have an interconnected formula.
No. I have that for my Rutland Fire Brigade with pivot tables.
Just trying to cause
between-
trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, with budget items and the pivot table.
It's his last meeting, he's gonna cause trouble on his
Yeah,
way.
don't worry, I'm coming to Lunenburg, sitting on in the audience. I have a question. That was it, it's the only thing I had. Is there any other news that,
I
I know.
have not heard much of anything,
okay,
other than we have good weather for the rest of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just jinxed it.
Yeah, well,
just wondering if there's any other news.
hey,
Okay, good enough.
well, is there any other business to come before the board?
No.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public.
No, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Recess.
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion? Any comment from the public? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Richard, thank you.